Hello everyone, I'm Jeff and this is my video diary. This is the first time I've ever attempted this. I've watched others and I find some of them quite interesting. I thought I'll give it a go myself and see what other people think. If it's successful, I'll keep it going. If everything is too negative, I'll kill it off. In doing this work, I have a lot to thank Sean James Cameron for. He's the chap who produces Horticultural Channel and Sean's Allotment Garden. And he's on our allotment site and taught me quite a bit. The kind of things I'll be putting on this diary will be mostly about my allotment and one or two people who are sort of near neighbours of mine on the allotment. Showing what's going on during the year, kind of things we get up to, and that kind of thing. Sean does the same sort of thing, but I won't be going into it in the same way that he does. I'll also be doing other sorts of things, like maybe grumpy old man sort of thing. Like many people, I have some strong views about bits and pieces that are going on in the world, and I hope that if I do come up with something that some of you have got some sympathy with those views. I won't be touching politics, obviously. I'd also welcome any suggestions. If you don't like what I'm doing, tell me why, really, sort of nicely, as I like to improve. So the first bit of video I've got to show you following this introduction is on my allotment. There's not much going on at the moment. It's too soggy. I've had so much rain like everybody else. The ground is really dreadful. Some places when you're walking along the paths you almost sink in. People have got puddles on their plots that have been there for weeks now. It's a terrible situation. So you can see what's going on our plot, or mine in particular. Hello, it's a very windy day here today, I'm afraid. This is my allotment, my plot, and you can see spring's on its way. As this little corner has a lot of daffodil bulbs growing in it. That's a lovely splash of colour. This is the first bed, and here I have garlic growing. A little bit worried about this garlic. It's suffered a bit, I think, in this awful wet weather. Sorry, you can hear the wind blowing here, but it's not helping. The dug section behind is for my bean row, where I grow French climbing beans, either Blue Lake or Cobra. Both are lovely. Coming down the path in a jerky fashion, sorry about that. Old knees and hips don't help. Come to a bed I created some years ago for blackberries. They were a thornless variety, but to be quite honest, they never tasted much. Didn't like them at all compared with the wild ones. So I've grubbed the lot up and I'm going to put in some raspberries. Then we have 3 beds here. All of them growing field beans for green manure. This was the first lot I put in, broadcast by hand, and you can see that it didn't do particularly well. There's some gaps here, but they're quite large. These were put in towards the end of October. The next bed I did when it became vacant was this one, and they went in about a week after the first. And then this bed went in a week after the second. And it's quite noticeable, the difference in size over a 2-week period of sowing. Coming up one of my paths. The paths are looking a bit messy, you've got to clean them up. Got a few parsnips left in the ground here which I ought to dig up. This part of the bed was for leeks, but they were a disaster this year. The allium leaf miner hit us hard on this site, and we lost an awful lot of leeks, and onions were okay because the leaf miner seemed to hit after the onions were lifted. But if you could imagine lifting, say, 6 to 8 leeks, and by the time you got rid of all the damaged leaves, I ended up with approximately 1 to 1.5 leeks worth of food to use from 6 to 8 leeks. Terrible. In this bed I should be growing potatoes this year. Desiree, Charlotte, both which do very well here. Might try a few salad blue for a variety in salads and that sort of thing. And pink fir apple, which are really tasty. And this bed has got a lot of narrow bits in it, because in the centre I have a little patio where we sit in the summer with a few friends having a drink or two and just lean across to this raised bed here and pick strawberries. I think you can see that the strawberry bed is a bit of a mess and I've got to sort that out. Narrow bed down here which I grow various things. This year, or should I say last year now, I had a stand of sweet corn. Didn't do very well, unfortunately. The best sweet corn on site was grown by Sean Cameron. He had some lovely stuff. Got some more green manure here, and then you can just about see it, head of rhubarb. And under this bin I have another head of rhubarb which I'm forcing. We could have a look at it. See, I haven't looked at it yet. The bricks on top of the bin are simply to stop the bin from being blown away in the wind. Oh yes, that's doing okay. Oh, I'll give it another week, I should get a meal off those. Let's just put the stones back, weight it down. My final bed I set up initially for my grandsons, and they had great fun sowing seeds, watching them grow, but they don't see much of them down here much now because they have so much to do at weekends. You know what it is for kids nowadays: swimming, football and all sorts of other activities. There we've got a small compost bin into which I put the kitchen waste. A water butt here where I may use for comfrey tea, and my main composting section here where I've made this up out of scrap material, a few bits of new planking. Each bin is approximately a cubic metre, so that I can turn stuff from one bin into the other. Well, that's my plot really. Not much else to say. And next time I'll show you my shed and what I'm doing with that. Hope you enjoyed it. Any comments? Gratefully received. Bye for now.